Right, well, welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. I hope you are all well. Premier League Roundup show back for another week where we have seen Sunderland rocket themselves into the top four. Bournemouth up there as well. Arsenal have established a lead at the top of the Premier League with Liverpool and Manchester City both losing. It has been quite the weekend of Premier League football, and Sean, as ever, is here to talk it through with me. How are you, mate?
I'm not too bad. I've watched a fair bit of football the weekend. Not all the games, but I've watched quite a bit.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I apologise for my absence last week. I was in Milan having a much better time than I am in this country, but proper atmosphere at the San Siro. Have you been, Sean?
I haven't been, no. It's one that I know they're going to pull it down eventually. It's one that I've always kind of wanted to tick off, but just never got round to it. I nearly went with Spurs in the Champions League and watched them there, but that didn't come off either. But
Yeah, but yeah, that was very good indeed. We're going to have to start with West Ham, so that's why I'm stalling a little bit. But Terry, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you are well. Everyone's gone on holiday. I've been uninvited from another cruise. They've gone and they've left me.
where's this one to? Where are they going?
No, they're in Bilbao tomorrow and Vigo and all these places. No,
Oh, they're going down the Bay of Biscay then. We avoid that
they
because
are.
we've heard the horror stories.
Yeah, it can be rather temperamental, especially this time of year. So they were at sea today, so it could have been a little bit up and down. But anyway, all good. Yeah, Terry, you can talk Italian all you like. I've got no idea what you're on about. Uh, with a 700-day Duolingo streak. Anyway, these two, West Ham United, won to kick off the weekend. One positive from this was that it was out the way, and I enjoyed my weekend without it. I didn't actually watch it. Sean, I know you did, so you're probably going to be better placed than I am to talk about this. I saw the last half an hour where seemingly we improved slightly, but it seemed dreadful. I saw the updates coming through, and obviously I've seen the goals and I've seen the way it unravelled, and we could have all seen that when that starting lineup came out again, when he decided to go with Souček and Irving in midfield again to the knowledge of absolutely nobody, and decided to go to Debo and Kilman again, to the despair of the travelling fans up at Ellen Road, and I just couldn't get my head around it at all, and it looked marked for failure before we even started, and 2-0 done after 15 minutes. Then we had a goal chalked off, fine, whatever. But we couldn't handle him at the start, and I was thinking 2-0 after 15 minutes. I was thinking Ellen Road, this could turn a bit nasty here, but seemingly we came back into it a little bit more. He brought the players on in the second half that we should have started with. Apparently Potts looked quite promising when he came on. Well, anything could be better than what was there initially, but again, another dark day, and we're going to come on to another game in the relegation battle, and a little bit later on. But again, we're slumping behind. We're losing another game where we should be picking up points in a week of Brentford and Leeds in 4 days. Everyone was saying it's got to be 4 points, and we've picked up 0. Sean, your thoughts?
When a team's fans base are panicking because you start coming out with, I've read many times, the manager's got to go already. Do you know what I mean? I've also, a telltale sign when fan base are panicking, they're calling for the youth to get used a lot because they might show a bit more passion. I think that Potts did okay, but I think a lot of that is driven by that. Do you know what I mean? Where you're probably fed up with other names not performing. I get the frustration with the team lineup, like Irving again. Like, he's a strange footballer. I don't even know where he come from. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
neither do I.
It's like he just turned up at the training ground age like about 28 and said, "Can I have a contract?" But it was probably strange. But then again, I know you've got the new lad from Southampton who's done all right, but most other things have been tried in midfield, and your fan base has slagged them all off. Whoever's played in there, they haven't had the legs. So I get why he might have seen something different. If it was me, if I'm going to pick at the manager, you said about the centre backs, he's playing a back four at the moment. So who else would you chuck Mavropanos in there? Would you?
Mavropanos is injured. We signed this bloke called Igor in the transfer window, and I mean he must be very bad because we haven't seen him yet. I mean he can't be much worse than what's there.
That's my point again. I can't believe he played those two again, but there's probably a better option at the moment. So he's just got to grind it out and put bodies on the field. I was chatting to your dad a little bit through the game. The only thing with Leeds, you know what you're going to get. They've been the same under the last couple of managers. They're gonna have a lot of legs. They're gonna come at you fast. They're gonna hassle you. They're gonna press, and you've got to ride the early storm. It's not going to be a storm of quality. They're not like you're going to score like a brilliant goal where they've got like a top class player on the field at all who's going to do something out of nothing. So you just need to ride the early aggression, and I'd have probably put an extra body in that midfield for the first hour. Do you know what I mean? You can play Irvin if you want, but you probably need an extra one in there. And not playing a centre forward, it was set up to do that. Do you know what I mean? You could just put Bowen in Somerville up front, sort of thing, if you wanted, and sort of just run about a little bit, have an extra body in midfield. The goals conceded from corners, obviously, nobody can understand Potter's zonal marking, but now you're not zonal marking, and it's still pretty poor. Joe Rogan, obviously, he was a former Spurs player. He has been very good for them this year. I think he scored 2 or 3 goals. So that was no shock to see him rise like that and head it in. I think you are. I think you're well aware yourself. You do look like you're in trouble. I can't gloss that up anymore. I listened to your match preview. I can't remember, you had 3 chaps, so I can't remember it was on there now. And one of them said, "If we play our best, we're better than Leeds." Well, I didn't really disagree. Didn't really agree with him before the kickoff. Do you know what I mean? Like, when was the last time you'd say West Ham played at their best? Was it? Do you know what I mean? When have you had a good performance? How long ago are we going back for that?
Well, I mean, it depends. Well, I mean,
Did Potter have a good performance? Did he have one or 2?
Well, I mean, you can define the Forest game as a good performance if you like. We frustrated them and went nuts at the end, but I mean, we haven't won at home since February.
Yeah. And obviously, we can go loads of stuff. We can do a whole show on West Ham, and I think I had a chat with you on X the other day about the owners a little bit. Obviously, you've got the protest going on, and I think there's another one. Is there one planned where everyone goes, but everyone sits in after the game, is sit-in or something like that?
Next week, yeah.
But taking my team's hat off, I'm trying, and obviously I've seen my fan base do protests. I walked by a protest at the old White Hart Lane where it was, "Don't go to Stratford."
Yeah.
And obviously that didn't come off. I feel for your fan base because I'm not really sure your fan base even know what they're protesting against, really. It's against the owners, but I'm not sure there's a couple of... They can't pinpoint the reasons, if that makes sense.
I think the overarching... I mean, I can speak for myself. I can't speak for everybody. Is my overarching opinion about why the protest is happening is that, yes, we had success a few years ago, fine, and yes, the club has been relatively stable, but in the sense of, especially, it's been pinpointed since Moyes left, in the sense of we've not had a direction. I mean, it's the same issue as Man United. Like, I mean, we've got a sporting director in Mark Noble who has just been given a job and put his feet under a desk. He's got no qualifications in the job at all. We've gone through technical directors and we've got a squad there with still some of Moyes, Sullivan's input, Steiden's input, Potter's input, Lopetegui's input, and soon to be Nuno's input. That's too many people with too many different ideas. It's been a lack of direction. It's been a lack of quality in recruitment. I mean, if I went through Fulkrug 30 million, Gillerherme 30 million, Todibo 35 million, Kilman 40 million, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money on absolute rubbish.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think I put a tweet out about, I think West Ham's biggest issue, and I don't actually think this is one of the reasons the fans are protesting against. That's why I'm saying this. I think your way of scouting players reminds me of top clubs in like the late 80s and 90s a little bit, where you've looked at a player who's available, you've looked around the Premier League, who's available. Like, let's be honest, Wolves were happy to sell Kilman. Do you know what I mean? So you took him. Somerville's done all right, but that was, again, a very predictable purchase from an exciting winger from the Championship. The lad from Southampton, is it Fernandez? I can't remember his name. Yeah,
Fernandez, yeah.
He did all right there. Again, a little bit of talent in the Championship. The keeper become available, but Areola exactly become available. The Leicester keeper, again, did quite well in the Championship. You're quite predictable at what you do, and that, I think that's not good enough anymore. especially.
I think it's predictable in the sense of we can all pick out the sort of players we're going to sign, and we all see it and we go, yeah, we could do the job of the people paid hundreds of thousands of
I'm,
pounds to
I'm
scout
going to
these
give
players.
I'm going to give an example to you here, and let's see if it
Yeah,
rings any bells with one of your recent signings. When football sort of hit a massive boom in the early 90s with the Sky starting, Sky Sports doing that, taking the deal. So it did get a big boom, and the influx of foreign players went through the roof. Okay. There was a World Cup in 1994, and England didn't qualify for this, and it was in the States. And a lot of these lesser countries did quite well, like a Romania, Bulgaria, or Sweden. All of a sudden, these teams that had quite good World Cups, Premier League clubs, dived in and signed quite a few of them. Okay, Tottenham signed a player called Dumitrescu and Georgi Popescu. They did sign Jurgen Klinsmann in the same window, so that sort of goes against it. But what I mean is, two players that had good World Cups probably were only scouted on that 3-4 games in a World Cup. And it reminds me a little bit of you going for Fulkirk. He become available. Yeah. He was in the German squad. I don't even know if many of your fan base have probably even heard of him before. This player had come on. Well, he was like a super sub for Germany, wasn't he, in the Euros? So he come on, scored a couple of headers late in the games. Other than that, I'd be shocked if West Ham knew too much about him. But
the issue people have is that, and you've mentioned it a lot there, in the sense of from the recruitment of players, the recruitment of managers, it's just who's available. It's what's easy. We haven't taken under the 14 years, whatever it is, I sound like Labour now. Over the 14 years that Sullivan's been here, we have not taken a manager out of a job. Every single one of them has been unemployed.
No,
we've not. That's where some frustration has crept in.
Yeah, but the level of club West Ham are, which is, when I say level, you're usually a bottom half club in most of their Premier League existence. They are usually not necessarily relegated, but a bottom half club. I don't think many bottom half clubs do take managers from other people, from other clubs, unless you go abroad and then that's a gamble again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But we haven't tried that gamble. Bournemouth, Iraola, there you go straight away. We haven't tried something like that. It's been predictable. Who's available? We could all, if Nuno got sacked tomorrow, me and you could sit here and put up a pretty good shortlist, and I bet good money that we'd be able to pick who we'd bring in if we had a proper good think about it. That's where the frustration is. We will move on. We'll take some comments and then we'll move on because we've got things to do. The only positive is that we didn't get tickets. Do you know what? I was actually offered when I was stood at the Brentford game on Monday night to go on the Friday, and I was stood there as we were 2-0 down. I was like, should I go? And I'm like, no. No, I will not go. It would have been a long journey home. Absolutely. Nigel went and he rang me earlier and he got home at 4:22. He walked through the door. So yeah, he said it was joyous. So I'm glad I dodged the bullet in that sense. Frog and Well, we're cooked. 4 managers haven't been able to massage a working squad out of this lot. Absolutely. We haven't been able to get any cohesion to it at all. Last good performance is the last 8 minutes at Forest. If we were performing half decently, there wouldn't be any protesting. That is a valid point. Fine. That there's always the undertones of it, but of course it gets blown up. It exemplifies when we do badly, inevitably, as it is at any club, really. But yeah, I do agree. Where did we get to here? The fans have every right to protest at this level of incompetence. At all levels, one word: Sunderland, another one: Brighton, add Bournemouth to that, etc. Talking of Sunderland, let's go to Stamford Bridge. Now, I was stood at the very top of the Stadium of Light at the opening weekend of the Premier League season as Sunderland swept West Ham aside by 3-0. And we were speaking to some Sunderland fans before the game, and they were targeting us as a profitable game, and they had a couple of decent games coming up, and then they said it gets to this point here where they've got some really tough games coming up. Chelsea's the first one. They play a lot of the big six in the next few weeks. I don't think any of them, Sean, would have imagined talking to me in a pub in August that at the end of October they'd be sat second or third in the Premier League.
No. It's strange. I didn't watch this game. I heard a few interviews with Chelsea fans after the game saying they just took it too lightly. I don't know what's happening there, but yeah, to go to the Bridge and win, not many teams do that. So credit where it's due that they're probably going to be this. Well, it was very early days at the moment, but they're on track for being this season sort of Forest, as you could put what they were like last year. They were up there for a long time. They're obviously going to slide a bit, but credit to them. They've what's the points gap between them and you? About 15 points already.
Oh, don't even go there. Something like that. Yeah.
No, do you know what I mean? That they will still be thinking of fourth bottom. They're not daft. I don't know a lot about the team. I don't think I've seen them. I've seen them on the match today versus York. I don't think I've watched them on a live game yet.
No, neither have I.
I don't think I do. I didn't watch this, but I watched 4 games over the weekend, and I know I moan a lot about the football and how I think it's getting dull, but just a couple. It's just a bit. The game has just got a little bit. Well, more than a little bit. Very sedate. Do you know what I mean? And I did see some highlights of this game. Something I want to say, which is strange. You know, when Pep came in, he started playing out from the back, then everyone copied.
Yeah.
Why is everyone doing the long throws?
Yeah, everyone's jumping on it, aren't they? Yeah.
It's like I don't know who the first team was, but now everyone's doing it. Every team.
I think Sean Dyche actually hit on this. I don't know if you saw he did one of his press conferences, and it's the same thing with corners. Whereas corners back in the day, if you scored from corners 5 years ago, you were down as like like a Moyes pub team, like let's try and score from corners. Now it's all the rage scoring from corners.
Do you know? Did you see the post? As that must have been after the Arsenal game, where they sit in the table for open play goals.
Sunderland.
No, Arsenal. I said Arsenal. For open play goals. Whereabouts they are in the league?
I bet they're down somewhere. I bet they're down more than they are now.
They're 17th in the league for open play goals. I think they've had something like 10 goals from corners and 2 penalties. So it's the football, and we all know that they specialise in the corners. But I know we've gone off track with the games a bit. Arsenal are top, and I find them dull to watch. Do you know what I mean? They are.
I mean, I was at the Emirates last week, and it was dreadful. I mean, we were hopeless, but they were really. And you're right, they were sedate to watch. It was tedious.
Yeah, it's. I didn't watch the Arsenal game. I watched 4 others, and at the 4 games, that's 8 teams. Only one team I thought, they're passing it around well, or they're sharp. They're not misplacing passes, because the amount of teams misplace passes. It's unreal.
Do you know what I did, Sean? I watched a bit of the multi-view this afternoon, so I had them all on at once.
Did you? I watched a little bit of the Villa Man City game, but my dodgy stream kept freezing, and I didn't have the patience to keep changing it and that. It's just I'm not a fan of the Premier League at the moment. Let's leave it at that.
No.
I won't leave it at that. I'll say more stuff in a minute, probably.
A couple of comments. West Ham's management procurement procedure. Who's available this week when we are not very good? Cross fingers and hope for the best. Rinse and repeat. Effectively, that's what it is. Sunderland. Let's click on it. Sunderland look like a team playing together, committed. Absolutely. Right. Let's move on. We're gonna bypass Man United as they have gone 3 on the bounce because there's a better game to talk about. As that was 5:30, and then TNT have sacked off the early mornings and they've decided to go to 8 o'clock. Instead, Brentford 3, Liverpool 2. Now, again, a massive talking point this weekend. To be honest, I find it quite amusing. But then I look at the top of the table, and a smile comes off of my face with both Liverpool and Man City losing this weekend. They look dire, Sean. I mean, I thought they turned a corner with a big win in the Champions League midweek, but blimey, defensively they are all over the place. Van Dijk again.
I watched this game, and Brentford were actually the best team I watched all weekend, by the way. Yeah. They were the sharpest, passed it around really well. Did a good team. I watched 8 teams play live, and they were the best of the 8. Van Dijk was shocking, but he wasn't just shocking. He looked like to me like he didn't want to be out there.
No, I agree.
And that's how I found it. He was very casual. Here, mind blank, who he partners in defence now, but he was the one to. Canate was it? Yeah. He seemed to be involved in most of the defending. Van Dijk just looked way off it, way off it. Whether it's a mental thing, whether his legs are slowly going, I don't know what it is. I'll be honest. I know he scored a good goal, but I thought Salah was the same.
Looks awful to me.
He kept getting the ball out wide. He didn't really look interested. Is it Zobolos guy? I've probably pronounced that wrong.
Szoboszlai, yeah.
Szoboszlai, that's it. He was their best player, I thought.
Yeah.
I thought he was very good in midfield. Kirkes, did he score as well? He was very poor.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on there. I mean, we covered these last week and the week before. Like they didn't have to. They obviously were up in the pre-season with Jota and probably buying too many. I think. I don't know if I said to you, but I said to my lad this weekend, sign Isak as well. Just, did they need him? I don't know.
But you look at what they've got there. They've spent over 200 million on Wirtz and Isak, and it's not been a peep out of either of them yet.
No, they missed out on Gay on in the last couple of minutes of the window. I think that was probably the more important sign of them all. They probably should have got that.
Really
Probably should have got
crucial.
that wrapped. Probably should have got that wrapped up a lot sooner.
Yeah.
If you go, it's common sense. If you go for a star player from a club, they're more likely to sell him early in the window than late because they can't replace him late. So they look like a team that's crying out for a centre back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was impressed with Brentford. The game probably shouldn't have got that close.
No.
The decision they're all going on about. Obviously, Liverpool fans love a good screenshot when it's after the incident. I thought it was a very, very good decision.
I did as well.
I was almost proud of VAR a little bit that they jumped in because I.
Do you know what? I watched it the first time. The first time I saw it, I went, "Ooh!" And I looked at it again, and I saw, and I read it, and I thought, do you know what? That's exactly what it's there to do, and it was the right decision, perfectly to a T.
It was. Obviously, said before over the years, you know, it was the Liverpool player that he dived in the box, got brought down as well. I can't remember which one it was. Was it Gapco maybe?
Yeah.
That was evidence of. It didn't seem like we had enough angles for the cameras.
No.
For the angle we had, I thought again it was a correct decision. He seemed to go over before the tackle come in. Van Dijk, I thought he sort of put a bit of an elbow in on one player of a cross or a corner. So yeah, I thought VAR and the ref did well in that game on the whole. But yeah, Brentford were definitely the better side. And like I said, I watched 4 games start to finish, and they were probably the best of the 8 sides. Playing the best football anyway.
100%. Just picking up on the relegation battle because we're going to go on to Wolves 2, Burnley 3 next. There's a point I was trying to make earlier but forgot. Is the time to Sunderland is that so they played Chelsea yesterday and they've got to play every single other member of the Big Six before the start of 2026. So they've got quite a run of big sides coming up over the next couple of months, and probably want to reassess over our Turkey, maybe, Sean, in a couple of months' time. But to Molyneux, and a real blow for Wolves, a 95th minute winner for Burnley. I don't like to say it this early because my team is criminally close to them, but it seems like the first nail in the coffin for Wolves, and it feels really bizarre to say that in the end of October. But they lost to Leeds. We've done that, but and at home to Burnley to have a point, which isn't a great result, and then to lose it in the 95th minute, it's a killer, isn't it?
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of Wolves, I'll be honest. They actually finished the end season quite well under their manager, didn't they? So I don't really know what's happened here. You won't see Burnley score 3 goals often in games. You didn't see Burnley score often last season when they come up. So they're very much a 1-0 sort of team. So for Wolves to concede 3 goals at home against Burnley, that's not good. I don't know where. Obviously, no club wants to get relegated, and usually when they're struggling, they look at a manager change. But I don't know if Wolves have spent much money, but that usually triggers a bit of a managerial change if they spent a lot of money. Well, they 1 point behind you. Was it 4 points and 5 points?
2 points.
Is there? Yeah, it's not looking good for them. And what we always say about the promoted sides not being very good. And I don't think 2 of them. I don't think are very good sides. I don't think Burnley and Leeds are good teams at all. No. But seeing some like Premier League sort of more regulars like yourself, Forest, and Wolves struggling to get wins, it's going to give them a confidence boost.
Absolutely.
And one thing you said about someone said about Sunderland being a team. Well, Leeds and Burnley, they're both teams as well. Do you know what I mean? They're not. None of these teams have got many players. If I said to you, right, you can go buy a player from Leeds, Sunderland, and Burnley, you probably have to really think about which ones because none of them jump off the page. Really, no. They're not bad players, but they can put together a good team ethic. And if they see over these like so-called bigger sides, sort of half-hearted with tackles, half-hearted with energy, half-hearted and marking, they will gain confidence from it. So
The issue that I have with it is that you're right. Those are teams, and it pains me to say it, but you see teams like Wolves, and unfortunately, I'm going to have to put us into that category where it feels like their cycle of the Premier League is coming to an end. Like it feels with Wolves, it feels like right they've had their time. It just feels like they've been slowly circling around relegation. It seems like this season it's going to drop for them. I don't feel that as strongly as I do with us, but I feel it to an extent.
in hindsight, you said about teams and that. I'm thinking about
Yeah,
some signings that a couple of these team players have made.
Xhaka.
Zaka at Sunderland,
Yeah,
a lesser club that are doing well. Brentford side Jordan Henderson,
yeah, absolutely.
and he's not such a good player. I've forgotten his name. I'm not forgetting names. Who's the Geordie, the lead signed midfielder?
Oh, you've struck
He's
me now.
he was always on the brink.
Have they signed Longstaff? Is that his name?
Yes, him, yeah.
Longstaff,
So
yeah.
not
Okay, yeah.
not none of them three players are known for being great, brilliant footballers, really. But they're probably three players that are going to put in a massive, massive shift. I
Yeah.
don't know much about Longstaff, but the other two, Zaka and Henderson, they
Yeah.
probably won't accept anyone not given 100%. Do you know what I mean? They will
Absolutely.
demand 100% from everyone on the pitch. Now, those
And
three
their
players,
leaders, which West Ham are lacking.
well, those three players are all available in the summer. They were all there to be taken. And as good as a player he is, Jordan Bowen's is not your captain.
No.
Jared Bowen's not Jordan. Jared, he's not your captain. Do you know what I mean? You had at least two leaders there. Longstaff, he leaves it all on the pitch as well. Do you know what I mean? He's one of them sorts of players. So we going back to your scouting again. Like, what are you actually looking at? Because if your team signed Henderson, for example, probably a lot of your fan base have rolled their eyes. Do you know what I mean? They would. We all rolled our eyes when he got picked for England every week. He's back in the England squad now. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I know we've gone back on West Ham, but that's just an example. These lesser teams are playing as teams, but they've got that sort of kind of player in the side. Do you know what I mean? I can't pick anyone out the Burnley side, but their manager's one of them as well. Do you know what I
The
mean?
manager, not Parker. Yeah.
Scott Parker, he's just like a Jordan Henderson. Do you know what I mean? He's just,
Yeah.
it's just
Exactly the same player.
Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So you can sort of see where you got that fight and that demand for honesty from the other 10 players on the pitch. And I don't know about Wolves, but you certainly ain't got that.
Absolutely. 4th of January, West Ham versus Wolves. Make sure you turn your telly off that day, Sean. That will be dreadful. And I look forward to a joyous trip to Molineux again. Let's finish off the weekend with what we have just watched. Everton 0, Tottenham 3. The first defeat at the Hill Dickinson Stadium for Everton. A bizarre game. There was a lot of VAR argy-bargy going on. There was a lot of frustration. I thought most of it was, the right decision. But one thing I know, one thing I do want to pick your brain about was the two incidents from the corners. So I know it was right in terms of the laws of the game. So the first one, I don't think Vicario saved it. I know it was the right decision. I don't think Vicario saved it, the disallowed one. He impedes fine, but he gets there and he's composed. He doesn't save that if the player's not there. I actually think the foul came with the one where Pickford went and he got a slight nudge from Van der Ven or somebody there, and I think he was more impeded. I thought Pickford was more impeded there than Vicario was at the other end. We've got to the point with corners where nobody really knows what's going on in terms of can you touch the keeper, can you not? Because I think last season they give that a foul against on Pickford because there's a touch, and we went through a period where anything on a keeper was a foul and a free kick. He nudges him, he puts him off. There's no doubt about that. It's good play, but last season that's blown in a free kick. We've got to a point with corners where I watched it and I picked it out and I thought, there's just a bit of indecision going on here. The right decisions were made by the laws of the game, and it impacted the game. You're always going to win, but I felt it was just a little bit harsh if you look at it from an Everton point of view, Sean.
Well, it followed the laws of the game, as you said. I think I'm not sure if they've chopped and changed the goalkeeper laws now or not, but I don't even think VAR had a proper look at that, the Van der Ven one. I think it was because it was such a soft sort of arm on him.
Like, it put him off. That's the thing. Last season they blow that up. They do.
I can't remember if it was for everything or not, or if it was every touch or not. I cannot actually remember. But the Everton goal, obviously, that was disallowed because he was offside more than anything.
Yeah.
Because it was a soft thing. We got away with it because it was a free header. That was the only bit of bad defending we did the whole game, to be honest. It was a free header, and they very, very slightly impeded Vicario. Because they're offside, that's classed as enough. Yeah, the Van de Ven
But then he
one, like
gets
that.
sent to the screen. That's the thing that frustrates me is why was he sent to the? I know it's subjective, but he's in an offside position. If the VAR deemed that he's impeded, or I don't think it impacts whether he saves it or not, in my opinion, because I think he's got time to get there and he gets a hand to it, and I don't think he saves it anyway. But if it's offside, it's offside in that sense. I know it's subjective, but if he's in an offside position and he's affecting it, it's not. Go on, mate. You go and look and see what you think. It's either offside or it's not. It's a foul or it's not. That's where it needs to be tightened up.
I think it's probably because the referee had to decide whether he interfered with the keeper or not. But he obviously did enough. Do you know what I mean? He almost put a little trip on the keeper. Keeper is probably still a bit weak, but as soon as you're offside and you do it, it's going to be ruled out. One thing I did notice with the Everton fans and then the new stadium, you can't have here and moan and whinge a lot more. I didn't notice that, Goodison. Like
They love a boo, don't they?
They were not happy with the officials, and even though the officials didn't get too much wrong. On the game, quick bit. I think I said to you when you went there the other week. Was it the other week you went there? A couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I said to you, they're not going to lose many games at home. Yeah. And we went down and won 3-0. David Moyes, as you know, won't often lose 3-0. I don't expect you would lost 3-0 many times when you had him in charge. So it's got to go down as a brilliant win. Again, same as last year, we got too many injuries. I think we got 10 injured. Probably 4 or 5 of them would start. So we're doing all right. The results are away. We've got 4 out of 4 away from home in the league. Home form not quite as good. Tactically, we're like a lot of teams in the league. We're not always the best to watch. We do the long throws.
Sean, I've been a bit bemused because your tweets come up on my page and I see you reply to people and this week you've replied to a lot of people who seem a little bit annoyed and you've been a little bit bemused at why they've been annoyed. There seems to be quite a lot of negativity about. And was it you drew midweek? Was it or you lost midweek?
We got battered. We got battered in midweek at Monaco, but drew 0-0. Right. Now, what I think. We, as football fans, we can live in a bubble. Do you know what I mean? With your own team, and that's it. I think some fans are even moaning about the performance today. I've written on a few things that said there's not many teams in the league which are playing brilliant football. There's not. Other than somebody as Sunderland, Bournemouth. Other than that, like Arsenal are just obsessed with trying to win the league, so they'll be happy pretending that it's good football. But there's not many that are playing great football. In midweek, we drew, I think it was 2-2 in Bodo after being 2-0 down, I think. I didn't think that was a bad point. We beat Villarreal at home. People even moaned at that because it was only an own goal. And then about 10 minutes ago, the commentary on TNT was saying Monaco very rarely lose at home. They beat Barcelona at home in the Champions League last year. Man City drew there this year in the Champions League. A draw would not be a bad result, but yeah, we got outplayed quite a lot. We backs against the wall, but it's not a bad point at this stage of the season. We've got a lot of players out, and I know we got to the Champions League by legitimate reasons. But we did have a poor year last year. You can't all of a sudden become really, really, really good in the Champions League overnight. If we make it into the playoffs and then get a chance to qualify for the knockouts, we've had a good year in the Champions League. So expectations got to be lowered very slightly. We should be much higher up the league this year, but we're not going to turn on a brilliant side overnight. We're still missing Romero, Udogi, Madison, Kulusevski, Solanke. Do you know what I mean? Most of them would probably start most games. So we're missing some top quality, which would probably start for most teams in the Premier League. Maybe not Solanke, but the others would have a good chance of starting for most of the best teams. So we're doing all right. And like today, it was 3-0. We got two set pieces, and we did actually try and kill the game. We did play quite negative. But I used to be a coach and I used to play in defence, so I can probably maybe appreciate some defence organisation quite well. Spurs fans should, for organisation at the back, we were shocking last year. We were all over the shop.
Yeah.
So for us to, probably for definitely the last half anyway, we sort of just killed it a little bit. And I think Everton had one overhead kick and another deflected shot for Kari who saved. Other than that, I'll be honest, I didn't see them scoring. I didn't want to sit and watch. I think, when you 2-0 up and you're like almost parking the bus a bit, you're waiting for one goal to go because you know the second one to follow. I just didn't sit. I didn't sit there with any sort of fear that their goal was coming.
There was a lot of hot air with it, wasn't there? Like they had a lot of the ball, but there just wasn't really. I mean, Vicario didn't make many saves in the game. There was the overhead kick, which was a good save, which he sort of parried away. But apart from that, I can't spring to mind any other real chances Everton had.
No, we do restrict teams to shots from outside the box, which backfired against Villa because that was the only 2 shots they had, and they were 2 screamers. But yeah, so you got to be. I mean, then we went up the other end and scored, and we probably think Richarlison probably had the other better chance of the game when he went 1-on-1 and he had to hit it early. So it was a deserved win. The fans are a bit moany, but we've got. I think you're already knocked out. I think, but I think it's Carabao Cup this week.
Yeah.
So we're away to Newcastle and home to Chelsea. Chelsea always turn up against us.
That's a rank cup draw as well.
Yeah, it's not ideal. I want to say something like a 8:15 kickoff in Newcastle or something.
That's good for the fans.
Something like that. So yeah, I'm quite content. I've got to be content. They've got Daniel Levy's left the club. We've got money to spend in January.
You start moaning. You're 19th in the league with the worst defence you've ever seen in like actual living history. So don't you start moaning because otherwise I'll get.
Do you know what I mean? Like I say, fans can live in a bubble a bit much. We're third in the league. I think we're something like 12th in the Champions League, undefeated in the Champions League. We don't look like conceding many. It's not all bad. I do like Thomas Frank. We're not quite clicking. Like Xavi Simons, he's a top player. He's not clicking. We can't quite get a striker to click properly. We still ain't got a left winger really. But yeah, it's all right. You can't just moan for sake of moaning.
For the sake of it. My last question to you, Sean, is: are you watching The Traitors?
I am. Yeah.
It's good, isn't it?
Have you've seen the other series? I take it before.
I have, yeah.
But I actually missed the first series, so I jumped in second in the third series. So.
Oh right, yeah.
It's very.
They are useless, aren't they?
It's good, clever television. It is.
It is good, clever television.
Are we going to do a TV and film review log soon? Are we? Because I'll be quite good at that.
Next year, when we go down to the Championship, that's what we'll have to do, because I ain't talking about the Premier League and the Championship, so that's what we'll do next year.
Did you watch the Ed Gein thing on Netflix, the serial killer?
I haven't watched it. No, I need to watch it.
It's very very weird, but very, very clever.
Yeah. And also, keeping on the TV thing, I think what we should do, if we go down to the Championship, me and you should put our CVs in to be the new host of Strictly Come Dancing. I think we'd boss that quite well. Bring a bit of masculinity to it.
Have you already given some thought what you're going to do if you go down with this? You're going to shut this down, or what?
This is going to be shut down unless you want to put in some background work and do a Championship run. I'm not doing a Premier League roundup show, and when we're in the Championship, that'll be it, Sean. That'll be it.
Well, yeah. I don't know if I got the energy to watch 4 Championship games in a weekend.
I don't blame you. But no, I'm sure we'll have to work together. But hopefully not. I mean, there's a pretty big chance that could occur. But let's hope not. I was gonna. Do you know what? I'll be honest. I was gonna open the show tonight by saying welcome to the last season of the Premier League roundup show, because it might not happen next season.
Who have you got at the weekend? How's your fixture run coming along?
We've got Newcastle at home on Sunday.
Well, like I said, they're playing us on Wednesday, so
yeah.
You got to take your small sort of bonuses from that, really.
Sean, we have Burnley at home the weekend after.
That's 2 home games in a row, did you say?
Yeah.
Well, you need at least one win out of that.
We do, and it ain't going to come against Newcastle. So that Burnley game is monumental.
I watched Newcastle. They played Saturday lunchtime, didn't they? Against
this week, there was no Saturday lunchtime. They played Fulham today, didn't they? Was it yesterday?
Wouldn't they? Oh yes, it was yesterday at 3 o'clock. That was the
Yesterday
game I
at
watched.
3 o'clock. Yeah,
That was the game I watched. Yeah, at 3 o'clock yesterday. They
yeah.
gave the ball away a hell of a lot. That
They're a
game,
weird team.
neither team kept the ball at all. It was they
Hmm.
got a late winner, didn't they? But both teams were very, very complacent with the ball. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't expect a classic when you play them.
Championship roundup. Let's go. Yeah, see, I'm a bit hesitant because I can just sit here and wing it. Whereas if we get onto the championship, I don't know half these teams. Like, I'm gonna have to actually, for like shows, I'm gonna have to actually like properly have a look and like research these teams. I just wing it now because I know these teams at the back of my hand. But
How would you
I'm
feel
gonna have
about
to.
because Millwall flying in the
I
championship?
know they might come up and we'll go down. That'd be even worse.
Well, I got some good friends that are Millwall fans, and I said to them, "Was it pre-season? We seen them last? Is it Alex Neil their manager?"
Yeah.
I said to them, if you because they just missed out on the playoffs, and
Yeah.
these people that I know, they said they think they might have got promoted if they'd have got them earlier. So this has not come as a huge surprise, and
No.
they sold their best player Tanganga to Sheffield United. So
They just missed out on the playoffs on the final day last year. So
yeah,
yeah.
they needed like a big. They need the win, and I think next team might lose like 3-0 or something.
Mm.
So don't be shocked if they stay up there in and around the playoffs. Don't be shocked by that.
That'll just add insult to injury. Honestly, someone put on Twitter earlier, if Arsenal win the league, we go down and Millwall come up. We actually couldn't create a worse season if we tried. Maybe if you lot won the league, but that ain't gonna happen. So.
Let me ask you one question to end it. For new buyers coming into wanting to buy a new London club,
Yeah.
because I know a lot of your fans are obsessed with getting a new owner, even though I don't think you're a very good buy for anyone. To be quite honest, you don't really have any assets. That's your downfall. Who would be a more attractive buy for an owner, Millwall or West Ham at the moment?
A club that owns their own stadium, a club that are flying high potentially with Premier League on the horizon. I'm not going to answer that with what you want. I'm going to answer it by saying I feel we get the ticket sales. We earn no money on food, fine, but we get the ticket sales. We have been an established Premier League club, and I'm going to use the past tense there because that could soon not be the case. I still think if an American is looking, then they are going to go to West Ham, not Millwall.
I think I was just leading to this. My fear for your fan base, and this is again back to the fans protesting things. I'm not sure what they're protesting at. I'm just don't think you're a very attractive buy for anyone.
And that's where the main premise of the frustration is coming from because we've been taken. I mean, if we had developed Upton Park, which we could have done, and we opted against it, if we just developed Upton Park and put another tier on behind the goal either end, put it up to say 45,000, whatever it would be, this conversation wouldn't be happening. We'd own our ground, we'd have an asset, we'd have a renovated football ground now that we'd be in. If it had taken moving to not Wembley, but somewhere like you did when your place got ripped up and started again, that's what should have happened. And the benefit of hindsight is gorgeous. But that's where people are angry. But Terry says West Ham for the potential and the fan base. I mean, we've been 13 years we've been in the Premier League straight, and we only have one season down in the Championship, came straight back up. I don't know when we went down before now. I think, by and large, 20 years we've had 2 season tops outside of the Premier League, and history says that we come straight back up. And my fear is we won't if we do go down, unfortunately. That is my final fear. But Sean, final thought?
Yeah, you saying that about it? It actually crossed my mind about if you go down. I don't think you go down in a very good position either because
no, not at all.
If you've got players that aren't rolling their sleeves up in the Premier League,
they're all going to be lining up at the door, which might not be a bad thing because most of them are useless. But
yeah, if you do go down, you might. It's a danger of West Ham. You don't want it to spiral because if you go down, imagine the empty seats in that stadium next season.
Oh, it'd be dreadful. It'd be awful. They would probably have for some games. They probably shut the upper tier.
Do you know what I mean? Then the stadium that your fans hate and moan about, you're going to moan about it more.
Yeah.
Your scouting's going to have to be bang on if you go down. Do you know what I mean?
It's a spiral.
You'd almost have to start half the squad from scratch. Really?
Yeah, we literally would. We'd have to rip it down and start again.
Like you'd probably. It'd be good if they stay, but you'd probably Paquette would be gone straight away.
Yeah.
If you hang on to Bowen, you might for the for family reasons you might.
And that's the point. Here, Southampton are 4th from bottom of the Championship. Makes me very concerned. Luton went down. Sunderland went down 2 before they've came back up. It happens, and it's deadly, and that is my massive concern because we are a prime prospect to be a spiral club. Unfortunately,
I don't know your exact finances, but you're probably in a position where you've got to sell.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's not just to raise money for funds. Your wage bill will be through the roof for the Championship. It's probably not worth going to too much. You probably Wan-Bissaka probably get picked up by someone. Do you know what I mean? He's good, but you probably don't need him with Walker Peters there. Do you know what I mean? So you can warrant selling him. Probably you might make a profit on him. You got him quite cheap, didn't you?
Yeah.
So I know it's looking far ahead, but you probably would have to rip up it quite a bit. Like I think Wilson's only on a 1-year deal, isn't he? Up front,
he'd be gone. Yeah.
Full crook, and you probably look for buyers in Germany for him straight away.
Yeah.
So then you're back, and you got is it Marshall, the young striker? Like
Marshall, yeah. All of a sudden, we just go back to the under-23s and just start again from there because most are going to leave. I think Bowen will leave, and all of them will go. All of them with any Premier League quality will go. There's no doubt.
I think with Bowen, I think you'll probably have a bid which is too big to turn down, to be quite honest. Yeah. And they'll have a word in his ear and say, look, for the good of West Ham, we need
the money.
If you go down, his price tag drops a lot as well.
That's the thing.
I know you were looking for
we go from talking 80, 90 million to 50, 60,
Probably. But then you're like, I don't know. I'm guessing he's probably in your top 2 or 3 earners. I'd imagine he's on about total guess, but I expect he's on 100 to 150 a week. Is he something like that?
He's on about 150. Yeah.
You can't be paying that in the Championship for more. You can get away with it for a year, but if you don't come straight back up, you're absolutely knackered of all this spending then.
Yeah.
Because you got.
That is entering a rabbit hole, which I do not want to go down. But Sean, thank you very much. Well, we've done an extended Premier League round show. I better pay a bit more this week. Thank you very much indeed for joining me.
No worries, mate. Chat again soon.
I will see you next week after we have played Newcastle. Who have you got next week?
Chelsea, I think. Chelsea.
Oh yeah, Chelsea. You said so. You got Chelsea. So we'll be interested.
Friday night? No, it can't be Friday night. Ignore that. It can't be.
No. So yeah, I will see you next week. Thanks to everyone in the chat. I'm going to be joined by Nigel tomorrow night. If you're not doing anything at 8 o'clock tomorrow night, then I'd highly recommend tuning in because I spoke to him earlier and he said I want to come on and I've got a few things to get off my chest. So 8 o'clock tomorrow night, it will be lively. That is my number one guarantee. So join us then for that. Thanks Terry in the chat and everybody else for joining us. Thank you, Sean, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Yeah, mate.